So today we're going to talk about end behavior, and this basically talking about what happens at the ends of a polynomial. What happens to the graph? Well, today we have negative 8x cubed plus 7x minus 1, and we want to know what happens at the end. So if I were to look at an x and y graph, we want to know when the x is super positive, like positive infinity, like a big positive number, which is right here. And when my x is a big negative number, when it's a big negative number, we call it negative infinity. So we're going to plug these in and see what we can get, guys. Well, let's think about the first one. When x is a big negative number, well, for every x, how about we say just a big negative, think about a negative a million. So if I were to put a big negative number, let's call it infinity or a million, plus 7, a big negative number, minus 1. Well, guys, what's a negative times a negative? Whatever number this is going to turn out to be positive, and it's going to be huge because, remember, this is to the power of 3. So what's a negative times a negative? That'll be a positive, right? Negative times a negative is a positive times another negative. That'll make it a negative. So if I were to check, that would give me, that would be a negative 8 times, that would still be a negative answer, big one, after you cubed it. But then what's a negative 8 times a negative number inside? That would be a positive, humongous number because you cubed it. Now, what's a positive 7 times a negative? That'll be a negative, but it's going to be a smaller number because you did not cube it. Imagine when you said a million to the power of 3. Isn't that bigger than a million just by itself? Of course. So if I were to deduce, I do not want a specific number. I just want to know if it's positive or negative. This, we cubed it. It's a huge number. Huge. This is a smaller, bigger number. And then it's a minus 1. If I were to combine all of these guys, will I get a positive answer or a negative answer? You guessed it. We're going to get a positive answer. So when my x approaches a big negative number, my y is also going to be, a positive big number. You see? So in other words, when I have a graph, when my x is negative, so it's going this way, my y is going to go up. So it's going to be somewhere around here, right? And let's keep checking. When my x is a positive number, so now all these infinities, they're positives now. So that's a positive. So if I cube a big negative, a big positive, positive times a positive times a positive is still positive. But what happens if I multiply it by a negative? Well, all of this is going to be a huge negative number. What's a positive times a positive? That's going to be a smaller positive number. So if I were to combine these again, there's a huge negative number because you cubed it, remember? Well, if I were to combine them, now my answer is going to be a negative infinity, a negative huge number. So when my x is positive, when my x is going to the right, my y is actually going down. So here's where my graph is going to be more or less. Going this way, going that way. So let's look at our multiple choices. When my x is negative, when I'm going to the left, is my y going up? That's good. Now, when my x is going right, is my y going down? Yes, it is. So that could be a good one. Let's keep checking. When my x is negative, is my y going up? Nope, it's down here. So this one's wrong. So is this one because look, going left, going up? Nope, it's going down. What about this one? Going left? Yes. Going up? Hey, that's true. So we have two possible. Oh, what about when my x is positive? It's supposed to go down. When my x is positive, it's supposed to go down. It's not. It's over here, look. So that one's wrong. So we can deduce that our answer then is going to be letter A because it's following both rules right here, both of them. And that's how you do it.